poppin' squad? It's your boy Jesimein, and welcome back to another Division 2 build video. Today we're going to be covering the medic class, or healer build, if you will, for the people who want to play support. I got your guys' back. I know it's stressful staying alive sometimes in this game, and any help that you can get is going to be phenomenal. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, I want to showcase the fact that I am using Survivalist, and the reason I'm using Survivalist is because of the outgoing healing. A lot of people are going to agree with this, obviously, because none of the other specialists give you a support technique like that, and it's going to be phenomenal when you're helping your teammates out, especially if they're in dire situations. The two main skills I use for my healer build are going to be the Chem Launcher and the Revive Hive. The reason I'm using Revive Hive over maybe the Fixer Drone, Defender Drone, is just because of those situations where you can't go and get your teammate. This Revive Hive will save your ass, I promise you. And obviously Chem Launcher, because it is the best healer in the game. It's the best healing skill, bar none. The mods I'm running on mine are going to be all ammo based, and I'm going to show you why. So when you get a crazy amount of ammo, as you can see, this healer build is so nice. Even the wildlife love me. I have 13 chem charges, right? That is burst healing all the time. So even if I don't do crazy amounts of healing per drop, where if I were to invest into healing itself as an attribute, as you can see right here, you can put a 20% heal. I know a lot of people are more curious about that. To me, I think having ammo is best of both worlds. If you need that much burst healing, where you need really fast healing, you can drop more than one. You can drop 3 or 4 and still be comfortable and at least have heals on you all the time. So you can see right now, if I were just to walk and just to casually drop heals one after another, having the amount of heals that you can use at will is going to change a situation, rather than having 1 or 2 heals that are crazy burst. Especially being that Chem Launcher is strong naturally, you can almost get full armor off one drop anyways. So being able to drop this many heals, especially in a situation where you're getting pushed or your teammates are on cooldown or they're on real low health, this will really showcase what a medic should be. So if you want to invest in the heal, you definitely can. It definitely works if you are running super high skill power. If you watch my last skill build video where I show you how to achieve enough skill power to unlock basically every mod in the game, you can really put on like a 25% heal, and then on your second one you can probably put like another 20% heal, and if you drop it, it will basically burst them to full health or full armor. But as soon as that's done, you pretty much have nothing else because you're not having no ammo. You're only stuck to 3. Whereas with this, I have 13 because I put in the ammo. And if I really needed to, like I said, if I really need burst heal, I just drop 2 or 3 right here on me, and it does stack and it does double up the health. So if you wanted to do that, that would probably be the better way. Now going into the build itself, this is all preference. Your weapon choices are going to be your own. Just make sure that you have recharged on it, because while equipped skills deployed at full armor have 25% duration, charges, and ammo. That's what you want, because it's just a free buff on a weapon that has nothing to do with the build itself. You just have to make sure that you at least have this on your equipped weapon, because it does help you if you're running a support type build. I opted to go for the Providence Defense with cooldown reduction and skill power. Try to get cooldown reduction, because it does get frustrating. If you do not have any cooldown reduction, it's gonna take 17 or 18 seconds per chem charge, which is way too much time. I've managed to cut mine down to, I believe, 12, and I can go even lower to 10. If I wanted to give up 4 ammo, I could probably just put this on, and boom, I'm cut down by 2 seconds, and I'm gonna be able to have a 10-second cooldown, which is another good option. The lowest you can get as of right now that I see is 10 seconds anyways. So once you hit that cap, you're good to go, and you're gonna be fine. But obviously 12 seconds is not that bad for me, and I'd rather have an extra 4% or 4 ammo instead of just trying to put it all into cooldown reduction. So that's why I decided to go with that. Once again, going back to the mask, as you can see, I have cooldown reduction. I also have empowered for skill power, just to be able to hit the cap, so that I can I'll be able to actually use these mods and unlock them to be able to even start the build in the first place, because without the mods you will not have the build. Going to my chest piece, it's a nice chest piece just with a chunk of skill power. I have skill duration on it. Make sure you try to get skill duration everywhere you can. It makes your chem launchers heal for a lot more. The difference between not having skill duration on your build and having it is literally, if you drop a chem launcher, whether it heals you for 25% of your health or upwards to full of your armor, because the longer you stand in it, it's going to heal you regardless. So make sure that you have that duration, so those clouds stay on the floor longer. Going into my holster is just a raw holster with a big amount of skill power. Doesn't matter which one you could possibly have. If you do come across a Providence one that basically looks like mine, that's going to be the God roll version, because obviously it goes towards the skill, power, health, and weapon damage tree, which is way better than having accuracy, because it's not, accuracy is pretty much not needed on this build. Going into my knee pads, I have skill power with skill haste. Try to at least get one skill haste on there, because you want to have enough skill power, and in order to have a bigger chunk of skill power, you need to have one roll that is electronics. And as you can see, I have 672 skill power on my knee pads, and that's because it's not shared with cooldown reduction. And if you were to go on another one, as you see right here, you only get 10% cooldown reduction anyway. So having skill power with this is boom, you're gonna be fine. Whereas you can't get a 10% skill power roll, so it's better to have the raw skill power and then have skill haste as your talent. So just put that out there. Going to my glove, as you can see right here, the God roll for me, obviously, I would probably have like a skill power roll, and then I'll have skill duration. I just have SMG damage, which is fine with me because I'm using SMGs anyway, so I might as well have some kind of damage. And I have skill duration on here as well, so that's the best in slot for me, unless you want to go for sustainability. Obviously, you can go with the famous talent that is clutch right now, but as a healer, I would probably focus on having skill duration. And going to my backpack, I have skill power, bonus armor, and cooldown reduction. This is where it's okay to split, because you do get a nice little chunk, and by this time you should be pushing past 6,000 skill power anyways if you have good skill rolls on everything else. I have 14% cooldown reduction, and I also have 516 skill power, as well as capacitive for skill duration, and of course safeguard, which is gonna crazy buff yourself, man. I'm telling you, killing a target grants a 150% bonus to repairing and healing effects for 20 seconds, and you can do phenomenal healing with that, especially after you kill an NPC, which is really good for PvE situations and PvP if you're able to drop people off and be you're basically like a Super Saiyan healer at that time. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. Going into the mods, as you can see, I have skill power, extra outgoing healing. If you have a mod that's even close to this, just throw it on. It's going to be good. I mean, it's a free talent. The electronics itself isn't ruining any of your other talents, so just spam as much as you can. You see I have some health right here and some more skill power with some more extra outgoing healing, and bonus armor. Going down to the mod of this. Now, I didn't just put on offensive mod just because I didn't really need to. I can just slap anything on. Doesn't really matter. I'm not really going for DPS with this build. Anyways, if you have offensive rolls, unless you're trying to spec into some more damage, then you could decide what you want off of preference. Going to the backpack, I have another skill power with, it's just a chunk. The only reason I chose this one is because it was a big enough chunk to get me right over the threshold that I needed to unlock my mods. And as you can see, 300 skill power on a mod is such a free buff that's going to put you over. It's almost as much as the backpack gives itself. So that's something really, really good. So make sure you farm for the utility protocols, man. I'm telling you. Going to the gloves right here, I just have a critical range on my glove, and I also have another offensive with critical hit chance for SMG, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. As far as my Reviver Hive, I just opted for straight duration, because that's what I had really. You can put damage if you decide to change it to the Stinger, but for the healer one and for the Reviver one, you want to try to make health and duration and cooldown reduction the main thing. You see my cooldown is 90 seconds, which is amazing for what the Hive would regularly be like. Even if I just take this off, boom, it jumps up to 144 seconds just off of one mod. So literally one baby little cooldown reduction mod takes 53 seconds off. As you can see, like boom, click that on, and my cooldown is 90 seconds, which is amazing. That's like literally between life and death in situations where somebody I can pretty much almost get my Reviver twice when somebody who doesn't have cooldown reduction, let alone people who don't run skill haste or have cooldown reduction on any of their builds. So just make sure you opt into that, especially for PvE situations and even PvP situations when somebody's trying to push you and you want to always have that Reviver drone down. Now, as far as modding your weapons and stuff, it doesn't really matter on this build. People are going to ask anyway, so I just wanted to make sure that you know that. Weapon choice is basically off of your decision. For me, anything that's going to have recharge on it, I'm not sure I'm pretty sure all guns can get it, yeah, as I can see like right here. So just make sure you have recharge on it. You can pretty much use anything and you're going to be fine and good to go. Like I said, you have multiple options when you're running this healer build. The best way that I have through my testing and through my experience is going full-fledged ammo, having 13, and you never come in a situation where you need to spam 10 or 12. So the cooldown, being that it's 12 seconds, you're going to have enough time to regen while you're putting them out. So even if you drop 6 or 7, in the time it took you to be in a situation to drop 6 or 7 of these, you probably didn't regen like 3 or 4 by that time. So you always have a heal, which is the whole point of the build. Instead of having a ridiculous 1 second cooldown, which is what we would want, right? That would be a true healer build from what we're used to. You have basically skills that are active all the time. You're always going to have a heal if you manage this correctly, especially in situations where you really need it. So if you really wanted to, like, let's say absolutely like you wanted to go full-fledged burst heal, I have another option for you guys. I'm gonna go right here real quick, go to my skill build, and as you can see right here where my skill build equips, I have 9,500 skill power. And like if you want to know the details of this, how to achieve such a high one, check out my last ultimate skill build video, which is basically my universal skill. But for the medic reasons, if you really want to, you can put your skill power up, and as you can see, I have a 25% heal right here, and I also have a 20% heal, which is a 45% heal increase. So on your teammates, they're gonna feel that burst heal. You drop it, they're gonna go from one shot to really full health at that point. But the problem is the cooldown is pretty bad. As you see, I drop it right here. So as soon as I drop 3, you can just look at my cooldown and just how long it takes right here when we highlight it. Look how long that is. That's only if you're fighting from long distance and you're trying to do an exchange and you have the time to get the cooldown, it's worth it. But overall, I wouldn't. And I also run a Secret Mine with this one just because I at least need a backup heal when these are on cooldown. So that's pretty much that build. But like I said, for this build in particular, this is the one you want to use. Honestly, my best advice to you would probably be run it this way if you want to be a healer, and you will see phenomenal results. I'm probably going to be streaming sometime this week using this build so you guys can see what it looks like in action, because it is kind of difficult to do it without being in a group, and it's more based off of helping others than yourself. So it's pretty much it, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy, man. I just wanted to put this out for you people who have been worried about support builds and having the idea of having to revive your teammate and all this stuff. This is going to be the build that's going to probably be taken into some kind of raid, or at least a variant of it, because you're going to need heals. I feel like heals are going to get way more critical as the game goes on, especially coming World Tier 5. If you have farmed a T4 or a Tier 4 control point, you know how aggressive NPCs are, how hard they hit, and how hard it is to manage your heals. So being able to have a build that's going to be able to give you this kind of protection and this kind of assurance where you're like, okay, I'm going to be good because of that, is going to be phenomenal, especially if you are a healer. Like I said, make sure if you're going to run this and you want the absolute best benefits out of it, and I cannot stress this enough because I've had people comment on other build videos where they claim, like, well, if it's SMG build, I should be running Demolitionist. I promise you, level up all 3 of your specialists, so when you want to run a certain build to its full potential, you have all the benefits. Because for healing, 150%, no questions asked, Survivalist is going to be the best and the only way to fully maximize out a healing build. And as you can see, I'm gonna go through my gear talents real quick. Capacitive, Safeguard, another capacitive, Empowered, and Surge. Weapon talents, Optimus, Extra, Recharge, Incessant Chatter, Box Magazine, Blabbermouth, obviously from the Chatterbox, Stable, Perpetuation, Overlap, Explosive Bolts, because I am running a Survivalist. And I believe if I were to go here, you can see something revolving around. Yes, so I have 40% skill cooldown reduction. You could definitely go higher. The only reason I didn't go higher is because I was 2 seconds away from the skills I was using anyways. I don't want to lose a lot of skill power just to get another 10% skill cooldown reduction for 2 seconds off. You know what I'm saying? If I really wanted to go that route, all I would do is literally, like I said, I'll probably go to the one that gives me less, so 4 ammo, and go here, put a cooldown reduction, and boom. Even at 15% cooldown reduction, I'm still at 10 seconds. As you can see, it doesn't go any lower than 10 seconds, regardless if I go 15 or 20. So boom, right here, if you want the absolute fastest cooldown, which will be 10 seconds, you can do it, but you'll have 9 ammo instead of 13, which, I mean, like I said, is preference. If that 2 seconds for you is super critical, that's fine, but you can just see how fast the cooldown is, the difference compared to the other one. So that's it, you guys. I wanted to go super in detail because I didn't have gameplay in the beginning of this video. I kind of want to formulate it in good gameplay so I can show you guys how it looks in real situations, not just me trying to get footage for it. I wanted to be transparent with you guys. But if you really want to run a healer build, I promise you, I haven't seen anything out there that is better than this. I'm not saying that I'm the best build or anything, but for me and my play style and how I've experienced the game, I think that this is the best way to run it World Tier 4 wise. I'm not saying this is the only way. I just think this is one of the better ways because of how much flexibility you have, even if you just wanted to switch out from cooldown reduction and add 2 seconds. 2 seconds for 4 ammo. I guess that depends on your preference. And yeah, and even if you want to, like, let's say you guys wanted to go crazy, let me give you a little bonus that a lot of people don't even see. So if let's say you didn't care too much about burst heal, you just wanted to be able to heal everybody at once. If you go to my skill build version and you go right here, you press start, and then let's say you don't want to go the ammo way, you don't want to go the burst heal way, don't forget, because you are such high skill power, if you're running enough, you have different options. So you can go the radius way. So if I click radius and I drop it right here, you can just see the difference. Look at the radius of that chem launcher now, dude. It's insane. So if somehow, some way, we get to a point where we can make the 13 drop with this kind of radius, then we can have some phenomenal heals, man. But like I said, I'll probably be a little too OP for heals. But as of right now, like I said, you have options with this build. It is flexible, and there is a lot of ways to run it depending on what's your preference as a healer, what's your issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it, you guys. Like I said, I'm sorry if I rambled on. I just wanted to make sure I hit on every point, because I know people have a lot of questions regarding support builds, being that support is actually a thing in a game where you have to worry about getting smacked off by NPCs. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, drop in the comments. What would you do to tweak it? What would you do to add it? Do you feel like it's overkill? What do you feel? Let me know. So I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Your boy is out.